Here's Mitt Romney on the state of our two parties, the Republicans and Democrats, after last month's election. I think you might like this, perhaps.
Spot on.
Here's what he says.
You said in an interview a few months ago that, quote, there's a good chance that the Republican Party is going to need to be rebuilt or reoriented, and that you want to have a voice in the post-Trump Republican Party. Do you think that do you still think there's going to be a post-Trump Republican Party, or is
better
MAGA
update that
now
quote,
the Republican Party?
Mitt?
Oh, MAGA is the Republican Party, and Donald Trump is the Republican Party today.
Yep.
And if you were to ask me who the nominee will be in 2028, I think it'll be J.D. Vance. All right? He's smart, well-spoken, part of the MAGA movement.
You said something pretty harsh about him a few month ago, though. You could not have less respect for somebody than J.D.
Long ago. I'm not going to rehash history, and we've worked together in the Senate since then. But
back off.
that is what the Republican Party is. And will the party need to change? Look, the Republican Party has become the party of the working class, middle class voter. And you've got to give Donald Trump credit for having done that. Taken that away from the Democrats. Democrats pushed him out. All right, the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren faction of the Democrat Party with some of this, defund the police and transgenders and, biological males in women's sports. These things had a lot of people in the middle class just flee the Democratic Party. They're now Republicans. Now, one of the challenges in my party is that our policies do not necessarily line up with the interests of our voters. And so there'll be some reorientation that's going to be necessary in my party. The Democrat Party is the one in trouble. I don't know how they recover. I'm not going to tell them what to do because I would begin to have the capacity to do so. But they've lost their base. Union guys and gals have left the Democratic Party and are voting Republican. And the Democratic Party is seen not as rich people, but as college professors and woke scolds. And that's not an attractive feature.
Thank you. Wow. Making a little sense there.
Yeah.
More than usual, that's for sure.
In hindsight. It feels weird to say it, but in hindsight, Mitt Romney losing in 2012 is the best thing that's happened to the Republican Party, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because we aren't going back to that kind of progressive.
Right. He showed us what we don't want in the Republican Party. So thank you for that, Mitt. Appreciate that.
Seriously.
And there are some people in strange places making a lot of sense right now. Another one of them, ESPN host Stephen A. Smith, seems to be more and more vocal about Democrats lately. Listen to this.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appeared to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee. The belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that the process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about, or downplayed, or misrepresented along the way.
Welcome.
I see Republicans like Megyn Kelley or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of? To the Democratic Party. You know what I'm getting really pissed off about? I'm getting really ticked off at every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case
There's an edit there.
that the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies. And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right.
Oh, because he was.
Instead of them.
Yeah, right. And he was. Welcome to the world, Stephen A. That's great. Now, if only the rest of the ESPN hosts could understand exactly what he's saying. Wow.